Okay, so basically the ins and outs of LinkedIn, I have a three-piece strategy. When I'm working with my clients at Leverage Up, this company is about a year or so old, a little over a year old. It starts with the profile. And so that's where we are right now. We're on Deanna Russo's LinkedIn profile, but that's not where it ends, because you can really have a really good optimized profile here. But if you aren't engaging with the people that you want to get the attention of, and if you don't complement that with a content marketing strategy, then there's no point. So it's really three evenly pieces. I basically call it a triangle, because you can't have one peak of that triangle without the other two. So that's basically how it works, is profile, engagement, and content. And that's how I work with my clients. So right now we're looking at my profile. And the very first thing that people look at on your LinkedIn profile is your profile picture here. And what I recommend is to have it 6 months or less old. And it can be a professional headshot, but it doesn't have to be. What I tell people is just don't make it a selfie. Don't make it a family picture. Don't, as much as you love your spouse, they don't need to be in your LinkedIn profile picture. So save that stuff for Facebook, save that stuff for Instagram, even Twitter. But really what you should be focusing on here is putting your best foot forward professionally. And so you want to have a really good head and shoulders shot for your LinkedIn profile picture. For your headline, you don't want to use the crutch that so many people do. And I'm going to show you. If I had account executive in my headline, I got to learn how to, oh, there we go. Account executive. I'm going to show you the default when you're searching is going to show you people. So, and looks like up, see how it takes a while to process. So account executive people, 6.13 million people have account executive in their title, in their headline. So what makes Nick different than Patrick, then different than Hallie? They're all account executives. What you want to do in your headline is differentiate yourself from everyone else with your job title. So we're going to go back to mine, and I could very easily call myself in my headline a LinkedIn coach. But as I just talked to a prospect about an hour ago, she said, there's a lot of people who do what you do. So I'm like, well, why would I put LinkedIn coach in my headline then? Because I'd just be another LinkedIn coach. So what I do instead is use those 220 characters to differentiate myself. And you actually integrate a call to action as a business owner too. So what I've done is ask me how I grew my LinkedIn following 25 times in 18 months, and how I work with my clients to brand themselves here the right way. And so I've then taken what I do as a LinkedIn coach and basically call people out. And I get people sending me direct messages that just say how. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm happy to have a phone call with you. And it usually, in more cases than not, it leads to a 15-minute call. And then what also I have added into that headline is people connector. I love helping people. And honestly, there was 2 different job seekers this morning who I said, send me, I know that you're still looking for your next opportunity, I said, but go into my connections and see if there's someone that I can introduce you to. And I don't know every single connection that I have by first name basis, but that doesn't mean that I'm not happy to try and open up that conversation. So that's what I mean by people connector. Hashtag leverage up and hashtag purple squirrel magnet. That's basically my go-tos for all of my content. And so if you were to search hashtag leverage up or hashtag purple squirrel magnet, you'd see my posts when I use those hashtags. And then follow me on Clubhouse. So that's basically my headline is LinkedIn used to give you 110 characters and now you have 220. So it's made a huge difference. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to use every single one of those, but use what you feel best identifies you. And I'm going to show you a couple of job seekers here that I have worked with. So Helly was someone that really didn't pay a lot of attention to her profile for a while. And she was in a position where she might be putting on the job seeker hat at some point. So she's like, I feel like I need to revamp this and take another look at it. I'm like, okay, so happy to help. So what she's done in her headline is called herself a global brand builder, a growth champion, and an entrepreneur. She is currently working at L Brands here in Central Ohio. And also you'll see here what she does in her about section is she tells her story. She says what she's passionate about and how this passion has changed her in her career. And then she kind of differentiates the different categories of ways that she has helped her team in the L Brands corporate environment. Now, Sevi is another job seeker, and Sevi is my success story that I love to brag about. So Sevi was in a grant funded position this time last year. And she said to me, Deanna, I don't see the writing on the wall yet, but there's a possibility this grant is going to be terminated. I'm like, okay. She said, so I'm going to be proactive and I'm going to get myself lined up so that if I get that notification, I'm not scrambling. So kudos to her for seeing the potential writing on the wall. But what she did, she had this skyline picture as her banner image. And I said, Sevi, how does that talk about you and what you do? She's like, well, it's a really nice picture. I'm like, I know, but we got to do something with it. So what she did was she took her certifications and integrated this into this skyline picture. Now, honestly, you could probably find this skyline picture elsewhere, whether it be on any other website or whether it be on LinkedIn. There's 760 million people on LinkedIn, 760 million of them. So there might be other skyline pictures like this, but you will not see another one with these certifications built in there the way Sevi has. So again, she's branded herself. And on her headline, she has taken her job title and then added something as well. So you may see other IT asset managers, but she's an enthusiast of info security, the Linux daily driver, that's all IT speak, and net and security. So that is how she has branded herself. Now, in her about section, she talks about her approach to IT administration is to be a human multi-tool. I take a look at the way things interconnect to provide solutions and new approaches in my field.
I love that. I love that multi-tool thing.
Yep. So my current passion is talking about information security. I specifically say information security because security goes so much further than the silhouette of a hacker wearing a hoodie. And how true is that? How many times do we see IT people and we think of the hoodie? but it's not true. So she's trying to diss that myth right off the bat. And honestly, it is the best about sections and the best LinkedIn profiles are ones that set themselves apart. So Dave was looking for his next opportunity. He's currently freelancing and he has branded himself with probably one of the best Canva images. And canva.com is a great tool to use for your banner image. But one of the best ways to brand yourself is to just call yourself out and say what you do. He brings viewers home to your network station or website. That's basically what he does. And then what he's done is he's taken his current position and putting that into his headline. And he writes in his about section, I try to see every event through the eyes of the viewer and give them the best experience possible. For over 30 years, I have been producing and directing live sporting events, along with TV shows and web events. I am a people person who has worked events for the ESPN family of networks, Fox, CBS, regional sports networks, television stations. On the studio side, I have produced, so he's basically telling a story. And it doesn't have to be thousands of characters, but that's what you get with your about. So the whole idea here is to differentiate yourself and set yourself apart from other people who do what you do. My go-to metaphor for this is you want to be the unicorn, the rainbow, or the purple or pink character amid all of the gray, all of the black and white. That's how you want to differentiate yourself from everybody else who does what you do. Because I'll give an example here. As a job seeker, you might be going onto websites like Indeed and applying and applying and applying and applying, and you feel like it's the same thing every day. But LinkedIn is an opportunity and an untapped resource for so many job seekers who find themselves applying and applying and applying and applying in that hamster wheel, and you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're just applying, and you're not talking to a human person, and you're not reaching into that person that you want to talk to. That's where the difference is with LinkedIn, because what Sevi did was she hired me. We worked on her resume. I'm going to go back to Sevi because I might as well bring her up while I'm talking about her. We worked on her resume. We worked on her LinkedIn profile. I taught her how to engage with the people who she wants to start those discussions with. And then what happened was that when she found out about her grant position being ended, within 9 days, she got a recruiter that reached out to her, not a position that she had applied for, but reached out to her to talk to her about a position. 9 days. 9 days. It's pretty awesome. So honestly, there are people out there who are looking for people who do what you do. So it's all a matter of being at the right place at the right time and having those conversations. And the best place to have those conversations is in LinkedIn. And the profile is your billboard. It is your place to say, here I am the rainbow, I am the unicorn, and come check me out. So it's a way to brand yourself. I'm going to give one more. I am running into an issue with the box being in the way and I can't see all my tabs. So let's see. Oh yeah, I know it. There's another one. Oh, you know what? A good one. I'm going to show you another good one. Now, Chris is not a job seeker. I want to show you what he did to brand himself. He's a business owner. So what he's done is he created a graphic up here that says the name of his company. It says exactly what he does video for learning, e-learning development, strategic consulting, LMS hosting. And then in his headline, I help you design learning video. Right there, you know what he does just by reading his headline. E-learning managing director, content creator. I am one with the force. I love him. I really do. He's like a really awesome guy on and off screen. He's just really awesome. And his about section is, ever since I used the popcorn bucket to defend the galaxy against the dark side of the Force. He can probably read this better than I can. I'm not doing this justice. I am a Star Wars, like my family loves Star Wars, but I am not doing this justice. I have been obsessed with visual storytelling. Cartoons, sitcoms, dramas, and even the commercials brought me joy. Then I found interactive storytelling. I used joysticks and direction pads to discover plot twists and adrenaline-fueled battles, movies, TV, video games. I couldn't get enough, but my heart was drawn to the lifestyle of the teacher. I wanted to learn the ways of my father. I love it. So, the best about sections tell your story. The best about sections tell what you're made of. So where is the first thing people look at when they go to your profile is your profile picture. The second is your headline. So when we get off this call, go on to LinkedIn and check out your own headline and see if that best shows who you are and what you do. And then the third one is either that banner picture right at top or the about section. I did a poll and I polled my network, and those are like the third and fourth. Honestly, when people are scrolling all the way down on your profile, it's a rare thing that it happens. I'm actually going to be doing a poll about that very soon, as to how many people scroll down to see the bottom half of your profile, and how many. And when you're doing a poll, if you ever done a poll on LinkedIn, don't do a yes or no question. So I have to actually phrase it in the way that integrates conversation and it gets people commenting. So I'm not going to do a yes or no question, but on the experience section, that is where you want your wins. Those are those braggable moments and those things that, hello, I'm going to shout it out from the rooftop because I just am super proud of this. So that's the types of things that that you put in your experience section. Now, what Bob has done here is he has integrated a quote into his headline, and his is his job title. And that's only recent because he actually started working a few months ago. But what his about section is something I want to show off, because what it says is, when you bring a sense of purpose to work and add value to your customer experiences, you can do anything. I can do anything. That's awesome. That is awesome. I've been told no one cares about our safety in business like you do. Humbling, blessed, and proud. So that's what he basically is worked into a testimonial here of what he does. And so words that actually speak to what he does. And it's someone, when other people's words can speak about you, that goes above and beyond your own words. So that brings me actually to one of the most underrated, but most utilized parts of your profile, and that's the recommendations. These recommendations are gold because it's other people testifying on how awesome you are. It's other people recommending you because they firsthand know what you're all about. So recommendations, I always say you should have them recent. There are some people out there, and I'm going to go back to mine, but there are some people out there that don't have any recommendations on their LinkedIn profile in the last 5 years. And it cringes. I cringe, because those people might have testimonials in other platforms, but the only one that matters is the one that people are on. So, and it's even better if you've got a long list of people that you have given recommendations in addition to those who you've received from. So it really shows you are a giver just as much as you are a connector. So let others.
Deanna, yeah. I always say to sometimes I tell people though, if you're giving a review to someone who gave you a review, and let's say it's someone who was your supervisor, you should probably unmark that visible on your profile, because you want to decide whether you want to see that people saw that it was a quid quo.
Yeah.
I can't speak. Quid pro quo.
Yes.
So you have to make that decision about what you want people to see, and you can change that setting.
Right. You can't change it. I always
you can say visible or not visible.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I always say that when I want a recommendation from someone, that I would give them one to show how much I want their words of encouragement. But when you're looking for a job, you do want to make sure that you have made it very clear which recommendations you want to show. So that's super important, super important. Yeah, and the difference between the recommendations and the skills and endorsements is this is a sprint. Anyone can do an endorsement, but this one is more on the marathon because it takes a little bit more time to write all those words. Now, I've talked a lot about the profile. I do want to talk about engagement. When you are engaging with people, I'm going to give you an example. If I was to search hashtag jobs, you have to go into a piece of content that's actually using that to actually see how many people are currently following it. So I'm going to go into his post and I'm going to go hashtag jobs. 2.7 million people are following hashtag jobs. So this is why this is important. Number one, if I was a career counselor or someone who worked with job seekers, I would make sure if I was posting content specifically for job seekers, that I would make sure that I use this hashtag in my content. But the more important thing is the engaging. If I wanted to carry on conversations with people that are currently using this hashtag, that is important just as much as your own content, because you are showing that you're showing up and you're carrying on conversations with other people. So if you have something to share, specifically with whatever content you see, writing a thoughtful comment goes above and beyond anything that you can post on your own. It's a good, like, that's why I say my strategy is 3 pieces. It's the profile, and then it's engaging with other people's content, and then it's posting my own content. So it's a good, happy mix of everything. So if, for example, if I wanted to post the content on Rachel's post here, I went to her profile without expanding the post. My mouse got away from me. Let's see. I'm going to hopefully be able to find it. Scroll, 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 scroll. Let's go down to Rachel's. There's Richie. There we go. Okay. Real-time data alert. Job postings jumped big last week on Indeed.com. Oh, interesting. Postings were 22.4% above pre-pandemic baseline as of last Friday, up 3%. Full story here. So my comment to her, and she hasn't gotten any comments, but my comment to her is I'm going to tag her so that she sees it. Rachel, do you think that this uptake in Indeed, what I want to make sure I use the right words, Indeed job postings means that the job market is bouncing back after COVID? So I could very easily passively like the post, but instead I'm going to be posting a comment, because passive impact on LinkedIn only goes so far. You can like, love, show all those emoji ones over here at the little thumbs up, but how much more does that say about you when you post a thoughtful comment? So something to think about. Okay, I think I went for that entire half hour, Ruth. So like I said, I don't need
it's
a proposal.
great information.
Just wind me up and I go.
It's okay, it's great. So somebody had a question. There are 2 questions from Kim. She wanted to know what your take is on company pages. I was just telling her that I don't get a lot of engagement from a company page the way I do from a person-to-person page. And I think it's because LinkedIn is really set up to be a person-to-person medium, you know?
Yes.
But what do you think?
Yes. So the way that I take company pages is you have to have one. You have to have it, but it is more of a landing page than anything else. If honestly, I haven't updated my Leverage Up company page in quite some time, but that doesn't mean that I don't still own the company. It just means that I'm not posting there on a regular basis. So I'm posting as Deanna because as an entrepreneur, people will work with Deanna before they then want to know the name of my company.
Right.
So that's kind of the difference, is it's all about the personal pages. There are some successful company pages out there. There are ways to do company pages, but I always say that you have to get to know and like and trust the person before the company.
I think they're useful for things like if you're looking for a job, you know, you can look at the company to find out who works there. Because, you know,
Yes.
if you guys have done that, where you look up a company, it also tells you all the employees. You can use search filters to find people at that company. So it's useful that way, you know.
Yep.
And then another question we had was, how come we shouldn't just put like on different, which I say I'm guilty of too, because I'm in a hurry sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want my friend to see that I read it, like Deanne. I'm like, I saw it, I'll comment later. You know, like, yeah, why not? Why not just do that?
I feel like you can still like something, but if you can lend to the conversation, it goes that extra step. So if you can comment, it goes above just the passive liking, especially on LinkedIn, because you never know as you are commenting. If I was commenting on Ruth's post, I never know which second and third degree connections who I'm not connected to are then going to see that comment. So do second and third degree connections also see likes too? Yeah, but what does that like say about your take on it? It's passive.
I'm telling you, I have gotten clients because I was in a conversation and then someone privately connected me and said, hey, I saw what you were saying. I totally agree with that. I want to talk to you.
Yes.
And sometimes if you're looking for work, you know, if you contribute something to a conversation, you know, a hiring manager could be reading that, or a recruiter.
Yep. You never know who is reading it.
Yeah, I need to look at this. I need to look at Michael's profile. Who's this guy? You know, it's
right.
Like, you just don't know, you know, it's
Yes.
There's no science here, but you just got to put yourself out there.
Yes. And it's being more strategic with that engagement too. I mean, honestly, you can like and comment on my stuff or what Ruth is putting out there, but if you are commenting on the people that you want to get under the radar of, that's even better. Like when Ruth said, you go to that company page and you see who's working there.
Yeah.
What if there is a director of human resources that is currently posting content, and then you engage with that content?
Or the director of operations, or somebody that's over the area you want to work in at that company.
Yep.
That's your golden opportunity to be seen, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you. Deanna wouldn't either. I tell people, you know what? Just in the morning, have your coffee and just kind of go through and see what you want to comment on, if you want to post anything, and then go do your other things. You don't have to be on there all day, you know, just give yourself.
You do not have to be on there all day. Nope. Mm-mm.
So
30 minutes a day of engaging with people, and even 5 or 10 posts that you're trying to, not that you're posting, but that you're engaging with other people's content, goes above and beyond even posting your own stuff. And it's 30 minutes a day. And all you have to do is just make it a regular habit of doing.
And also when you tag someone, Kim was asking about this, like, well, what does that do when you tag someone?
Well, I'll show you. I'm going to share my screen again. So if someone was responding, I'm going to use my content as an example.
And if you don't know how to tag someone, you basically use the @ sign. And when you type it, different names will come up, like the poster of that post will come up in different people, and you can click on the one you want, or you can do a search by typing in their name. And if you're connected, it'll come up and you can select.
Yep. Yeah. So over the weekend, I posted that I got approval for LinkedIn Live, and I'm super
that is so exciting.
So exciting.
Very hard to get approved for that. Yeah.
So Yvette posted something and I didn't see it for about an hour or so, which it's fine. I'm not on this 7 days a week, 24/7. But if Tiffany used my name, so that made it pop up in my notifications. If I am being tagged in content, I will get a notification. See, Jerry tagged me with a few other people, and then I got notification that it's in there. I don't always see my notifications because I have a large network. So what some people actually do is send me a direct message with a link to their content if they want me to comment and respond to it. So you'll see a lot of, there's Ruth's comment. So
And I didn't tag her. I did not tag her.
Yes.
Oh, I did above, but down here I didn't tag her below. Okay, well,
No.
whatever.
Yeah, do you see this? I didn't know that she responded.
Yeah,
She
well, lazy me.
No, not at all. Not, I mean, honestly, it's just getting people's attention. You just
Yeah.
need to get people's attention, and that's the difference between tagging and not tagging. So there's the answer to that question.
I know, that is so awesome. And you guys should connect with Deanna on LinkedIn, because she's going to be doing lives now right on LinkedIn. And hopefully I hope I'll be a guest. Yay. But it's really going to be interesting. You'll be able to just watch something she's doing right on the platform without, they make it very challenging to get approval. I don't know why, but they do, whatever.
It's quite the application process.
Yeah. So does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to pop in?
I have a follow-up on the tagging.
Sure.
The impression I got from what, Mike, good to meet you. I'm glad you're here. I got the impression from what you just did that you have to tag someone in their own post. In other words, if they start a post and it continues, you still need to tag that original person if you want them to see it. In other words, they won't automatically see it even though they started the post. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So if I am responding to your post, I'm going to tag you. And then if you're acknowledging and responding to that comment, you're going to tag me. And that can go back and forth, back and forth. Does that
I
make
didn't know
sense?
that. I assumed that it also let the person know who initiated the thread.
Tagging is very useful that way. There are people that use tagging the wrong way. When I get tagged on posts or from people I don't know just for visibility because they want me to interact with their post, that is a block. I'm starting to block those people just so that I don't have them in my network anymore. But if I have responded to your post and then you're responding to me, yep, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
So does anybody want to share how they're using LinkedIn and how it's worked out for them?
Yeah, I'd love to hear stories.
Anyone?
No,
I'll be happy to pipe in from the marketing people that I've heard give presentations on LinkedIn before.
Great.
The complete opposite of everything you've said so far today. Because I have a company page and they beat the drum and told me how they could help me with my company page. And that would be the only way to get real exposure on LinkedIn. And it's the only way to get people to do things. So I have been spending COVID putting up weekly or sometimes 3 times a week posts from my business page shared with my personal profile, because like Facebook, it really hides everything. I haven't found a way to have people follow my company because I'm just not that hot and exciting. So, you know, I'm not Forbes. Nobody's following Pandaware. But maybe after my debut next month, I'm being debuted on a TV show. Maybe people will start following.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Very
that's
exciting.
That's her jewelry, Deanna. That's a picture of some of her jewelry. So yeah.
So I'm really appreciating this. I'm going to use it to update my personal profile and maybe just go out to Canva and use some images from there, because I want to make the business profile more robust, because I've been told the more I have there, the more it puts substance behind what I'm doing.
Sure.
I didn't really understand the tagging because I use a platform called Hootsuite. Yeah. And that's how I keep track of everything that's going on my social medias, because with what I do, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, probably between the platforms, close to 10 posts a day. And just keeping an eye on those little numbers. I mean, when my Facebook thing goes up to 150, it's not unusual because that's the amount of people I interact with. So I just don't have time to look at all those.
Okay, Kim, are you Kim Pandina?
Yep.
Okay, so I am looking you up now, and I am going to go to your company page now.
It needs a lot of work.
No, don't worry about it. No, this is honestly, you have one. Do you know how many people don't have one? A lot. So give yourself some credit that you have one and you're using it. You're posting on it. So give yourself credit. So I'm following it now, but this is what I do on my company when I'm posting, and I'm organically bringing people over to my company page. This is one that I posted last week because this is one of the things that I hear most from people. I need to post, but what do I post? If I don't post, will people forget me? Will I lose visibility? And then I ask, can you relate with any of the above? And I talk about the importance of engaging with other people's content. And I tag some people that I engage with. And so what I did in that very first comment was I used hashtag LinkedIn because it was about LinkedIn. I used hashtag engagement, hashtag content marketing, posting, and then see this is my company. So I organically tag my company when I'm posting for myself to bring people over. And honestly, Kim, I don't have a lot of people following Leverage Up. They're following Deanna, but I mean, I have some, but that's how I'm organically sharing. So I'm not like, oh my God, it's Leverage Up. You got to post. You got to follow my business page. No. I just tag it so that I run. Oh look, you see my background. But that's basically how I do that. So hopefully that helps you with the. So honestly, you can see this 29 unique estimate. My estimated audience size is 500 million. Yeah, that's in the 500 million is not seeing my content. So there are some. See, I haven't posted in a month. So it shows you how many new followers, how many post impressions that you've gotten, how many custom button clicks. I gotta double check that one. But see, I only have 186 followers. So that's nothing compared. That's like one. Okay, I don't know math, Ruth, so maybe you can help me with this. So 186 followers, and then you go back to my personal profile, and I haven't checked my numbers lately. So I have. Here's my
It should say.
It should say on my connections how many I have. I have 21,773 followers. So, yeah. It's company pages don't get a lot of activity. They don't. People want to know you. People want to know Kim, and then they will then follow Pandaware because that's your company.
It's absolutely true, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think, Kim, you can do a lot with your headline too on your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, I've been so busy with this TV thing that's been coming up. The mind is just recovering. So I'm brainstorming for headings and all that. It was originally going to be the April project, but April has swung on by. So it's now the May project. So
All right.
it's still in the to-do list. We're working on it. It's on paper.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is, when you have your own business that you're operating, you really have to be careful about burnout. I mean, you got to pick what your couple things are that you're going to focus on and then push everything to the side because, whoo, it's bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else have a question?
I'm an open book when it comes to LinkedIn, even if I didn't talk about it.
Can you talk about the algorithm? What about the algorithm?
Oh yeah, I can talk about the algorithm. And then I have another topic that I get asked a lot too. So the LinkedIn algorithm are loaded words because it can go one way today, it can be flipped and go a different way tomorrow. When I started creating video on LinkedIn, it was Halloween of 2018. And I was in a very small percentage of people that were creating video on LinkedIn. Now that number has gone up quite a bit. And the text posts, when someone posts text inside of a post and maybe they follow it up with an image or maybe it's just 100% text, that plays to the algorithm a lot more than video. People have to watch at least 3 seconds of your video for that to count as a view. Did you know that? Did you know? And so I am less likely to do the video because it's a lot of work to do videos these days. And honestly, when I was in COVID, I was homeschooling kids and hybrid and all that. So I will try to mix up my content and do a video every other week or even every week if I can. But there is a difference between how the algorithm plays to different types of content in the feed.
Yeah, my training tells me that and this is specifically when I'm talking to job seekers, the biggest bang for your buck is going to come from your headline and your about section and the skills that you pick, because you have 50 you can pick. Those are the 3 most important sections if you're looking for a job, because recruiters are out there monitoring and looking and checking and trying to find people, because they got this big list. They got to fill these jobs, right? You want to get picked. So yeah.
Do you know how many job seekers currently don't have a LinkedIn profile picture?
Probably a lot.
Do you know how many job seekers have the green circle around their LinkedIn profile and say open to work, but don't have any contact information or a way for people to get in touch
Yeah,
with?
I know, that's crazy. And I even noticed that too when I'm working with someone. I'm like, okay, you want to get found, right? So you need to put your number.
Yes.
You need to put your email address, which by the way should not be fluffy@gmail.com.
No, if you
Your name.
honestly, you can create a new Gmail email so easily. Just create a new one. My husband is in hiring mode right now for his team, and he went to go and contact a job seeker who he wanted to interview, and he can't find a way to connect with him. He won't. First of all, his profile is not open to public connections.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then there's no contact information either. So this guy will never get a job because all of this stuff has not been done.
Unless he gets it a different way through personal connections.
Right,
I mean,
right,
you have to remember LinkedIn is a tool.
It's not the tool. It's not
right,
the tool.
exactly.
But yeah, for this particular, he showed me this week and he's like, see this guy, I can't.
Oh, and LinkedIn just rolled out a new feature, which I haven't gotten access to yet. But they're allowing you to make a quick video about yourself and put it right on the front of your profile. So if you look at your name and you see a little plus sign and you press it, that's an opportunity for you to record something about yourself. I have not gotten that on I do not understand how LinkedIn rolls out these new features. It's a mystery to me, but I haven't gotten it yet. So I wish, but is Deanna still with us? She must have gotten, something must have happened to her connection. Does anyone else have a question? Maybe
Her
I can.
battery probably died.
Oh, her computer. I noticed that her power was low. But anyone want to share an experience from LinkedIn?
Well, I can add a few comments as a recruiter if you'd like.
Please.
While we're waiting for her to come back.
Yeah.
So to begin with, I really like the stuff she was talking about the headline. That I think that if you want to get attention, that's great information. There's a lot of different ways you can differentiate yourself there. One of my cautions about the about section, all your detail section, is don't make that too long, because if you put too much data in there, recruiters will not read it. You need to keep it short and concise. So, so she showed a bunch of sites that had all the information broken down, and it's really good to break it down and to have like a little a title and then a short paragraph underneath it, because that makes it easy for a recruiter to scan when they're looking through. If you put too much text, one of the sites she showed just had this great big block of text. No recruiter is going to read that. I'm not going to read that. I'm just going to read the first line and I'm going to scan past the rest of it. One of the things I agree with, so one of the things she asked is how many people will go to the bottom of the LinkedIn profile? And I will tell you that recruiters do that often because we want to go down and look at those recommendations. I won't necessarily look at all the stuff in between. I'll look at the stuff at top. I'll look at, skim over, the past 1 or 2 jobs. Then I'll go down to the bottom to see how many recommendations they have and how many they've given. Those recommendations can tell me a whole lot more than their information that they put up about who they are and what they want. Those recommendations are very powerful. So that is something that I, as a recruiter, read. Most other recruiters I know will do that as well. So definitely agree. Work on the recommendations. I also agree with if you want recommendations, you got to give them, right? So go to the people that you know, that you like, write recommendations. And one of the things I don't know is it used to be that if you sent somebody a recommendation and they posted it, LinkedIn used to say, hey, you've posted this recommendation. Why don't you send one back to them? I don't know if it does that anymore, but that's what it used to.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that lately.
They don't. It doesn't do it anymore. They changed
Yeah.
that. When they should have left it. There's one
Yeah,
thing
I
that they should have
like
left.
that feature, but I agree that, the more you write, the better that's going to be, and the more likely you're going to get some back. And if you don't get them back, ask for them, right? Go to the
Yes.
people you know that
Yes.
you've worked with, because recruiters will read the recommendations. And I'm not saying I do this every time. I won't do this with every candidate, but if I have a candidate call me on the phone, if I don't know who they are, I will open up yet another tab. I've probably got, right now I only have 3 tabs open on LinkedIn right now. So that's actually fairly low. But I will open up a new tab and I will start looking through their profile while we're talking. And it's really disappointing if they don't have much of anything there. It's also disappointing that, like, I've been doing a search for a few particular types of engineers, and probably about half the profiles, I can't even tell what these people are doing. Yeah, they've got a title, but then that's all they've got on their jobs. So this is not going to help me recruit them, which, for engineers, maybe they don't care. Maybe they've got a job they're happy with. But if you want people to find you, you have to have a lot more detail on your jobs. So give it back.
I also want to mention that all of us who are on this call, we all want to be connected. So if you see somebody you want to connect with, like Eric, Deanna, me, anybody, just reach out and make the connection. And of course, Eric is a very generous person and would probably be happy to give you a few quick notes from a recruiter's perspective on your profile. Right, Eric?
Can I put in a plug?
Sure.
There's my book.
Yeah.
Called Recruiter Secrets.
It's a very good book. It's packed with good information.
Tons and tons, 180 topics on job search.
Is that book in your cover banner photo?
Not yet.
It should be.
Yeah, it's just, as I published the book, suddenly my work started getting busy. So,
that's okay.
The book was interesting because it was kind of like the gift of COVID, because most of my work went away and I was able to finish the book. I was able to get it published. And then as I was really beginning to start marketing the book, then work got busy. And so I really haven't been working on that a whole lot. So
great.
You can go into Canva and just take a picture of the book and put it on the far right of your banner photo, and then have what you do in the middle, and it's done.
I'll probably have my daughter do that. She's the graphic designer.
Yeah, take it.
She's the one that did the cover.
I know this.
Richard, did you have a question?
No, I was just laughing at this comment.
Oh.
Good point.
And I also want to take a few minutes to give myself a plug, which I sometimes forget to do. I am a career coach, and I'm also a resume writer and a LinkedIn profile writer. And that means that if you are a person who doesn't know exactly what your direction is, you have a rough idea, but you need some help figuring it out, I'm a person you can come to for that. And I also am a person who can help you redo your materials, specifically aimed at getting a job. Although I have worked with some business owners too, to try to write materials for them. So I'm a little broader in what I do than what Deanna does, but I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I know Deanna will love to hear from you.
I
She would even
love to hear
love to
from you.
work on your profile.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Ruth, when I lost the connection, I had heard you say that LinkedIn is rolling out a new feature. Were you talking
yeah,
about
the
creator
video.
mode?
I haven't gotten the video thing yet. Have you? The little plus sign?
The creator mode is something that was being rolled out very slowly because
Yeah.
every single time LinkedIn does something, it goes at like a snail's pace. But last week, I had heard that more people are being let into that little creator mode bubble. And then by the end of May, everyone's going to get it.
That's
So,
great. Because I'm in the member of the National Resume Writers Association, and a bunch of the people were going, "Oh, I just got my video access," and I'm going, "I didn't get mine," you know. And I'm like, "When am I going to get mine?" You know, so
there are some LinkedIn influencers, they have bigger networks than mine, who still haven't gotten it yet. So
yeah, I don't know
you're
how
not
they
alone.
do it. If it's random and they just kind of pick a chunk of people, or
There is no rhyme or reason behind how it's been rolled out to who. And the thing about creator mode, Ruth, is I won't know that you have it unless mine is turned on. So I have to be in creator mode with you are in creator mode before I can see it. It's silly.
yeah,
That's just my take.
So there are a number of places on LinkedIn and even Facebook where you can follow discussions about LinkedIn. Obviously, Deanna's stuff is great. There's also Andy Foote. If you Foote.
Yeah.
He's international and he's on Facebook, and he just has a huge following and there's all kinds of really interesting questions on his feed. You can get you can really go, I'm putting it in the chat.
He calls himself ridiculously expensive LinkedIn. It's actually quite funny. I'm with him on the Clubhouse chat rooms.
Which
on a
I don't
regular
have, that's the
basis.
thing, I don't have an iPhone, so I can't be on Clubhouse right now.
At some point, you're going to be able to, because they're working on Android.
Yeah.
So I am thinking at the same time the creator mode is launched, the Clubhouse will be available on Android. But he calls himself reassuringly expensive LinkedIn brand enhancer. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's really, and
funny.
I
Funny
love
guy.
Andy's accent. He has such a UK accent, and he's actually in Chicago.
Yeah.
He lives in Chicago, but yeah.
There's some great people to follow, especially if you need to laugh, because that's important, right? In the middle of COVID.
Yes, laughter's important. Laughter's important.
Well, we can take one
So-
more question if anyone has anything. Anyone?
Since you called me before, the quick question, are all these features that you talked about, is that in the free mode or is that your paid mode?
So the creator mode we were talking about is open to all LinkedIn subscribers, and you have to get approved before you can actually see it on your, and you don't have to apply for that. LinkedIn Live, you have to apply for. The premium, LinkedIn Premium, I recommend it for people who are in sales and want to connect with people and want to direct message people who they aren't currently connected to. But honestly, I've had premium multiple times and I keep going back to basic because I'm not seeing a huge difference. What I do notice when I turn on my premium trial is that I see more people who are looking at my LinkedIn profile than the default. So if you really want to see who's looking at your profile, I guess, but it's not worth the money in my view. But
Well, that's the thing. Another person to follow is Jeff Young, who also loves talking about LinkedIn.
yes.
But he has never been a premium member. Now, one thing that happened to me was I tried not to be a premium member. And after a certain number of searches, it just shuts you down and says, "Hi, you want to pay for it now?" You know?
Yeah.
So that can be a problem. But
Yeah.
you kind of got to make your own decision about what you want to do.
Right. Yeah. Look at the pros and cons of doing that. So, well, okay. It's after 1. Thank you, Deanna. This was really fun, and it's good to see you. And it's good to see so many people over here who I know.
Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, guys.
We are. I believe our next guest is going to be Hannah Morgan, the career Sherpa. If you live in Rochester, you probably know Hannah. She's going to talk about myths connected to job search. Check out her website, Career Sherpa. She does a lot of online things. She has guidance and workshops and all kinds of stuff like that. So, and content. So she's great. So I've got all your names, and hopefully I will try to be in touch with you and tell you what our next sessions are going to be like. So thank you all. I'm turning off the recording now.